and Ouija board experience by real_horror_diaries. The story I am about to share now was shared with me by one of my blog readers. She asked me to keep her identity a secret, so I won't be sharing her name here. This is a story about one of her friends who passed away a few days back. I will be narrating from her point of view. We were friends since our childhood. One day when we were in our 12th grade, she came running to me and told me she found a few guys smoking weed in a nearby abandoned house, and when she caught them red-handed, they had offered her some. I asked her to be careful and told her that we would speak about that later in the day. She did not turn up to our regular meetup spot that eve. I was worried and went to her home where I found her. She was high on weed and her parents were yelling at her. The time she spent with me gradually reduced after that. One evening I saw her entering that abandoned house all alone, and when I followed her, I saw her using a Ouija board along with her new friends. I left that place and returned home without letting her know. When I met her the next day and told her I was worried about her newfound friends as they appeared shady, she got angry and told me that I was not her dad to interfere in her personal life. Our conversation reduced further after that, and we stopped talking eventually. I had to leave the town after securing admission to a good university. I got a call late in the evening from her and I was excited as it was over 6 months since we last spoke. When I answered the call, I heard her panting. She said she was being followed by a creepy old woman who was trying to kill her. When I asked her to inform her parents, she said, "I told them Jord, but they are not able to see her and blame it on me using drugs." I asked her to go to a well-populated place and told her I would come to meet her as soon as possible. I went to her house the next day and crashed in that night as I had traveled more than 250 miles. When I woke up, I saw her relieved face. She started crying and explained to me what she'd going through. One day when they were playing with a Ouija board in that abandoned house I had mentioned earlier, one of her friends started to act weird. She was mumbling something in Latin, which was a language she actually did not know. The board had apparently started to burn, and they had rushed out without closing the session the right way. After that incident, she had been seeing an old woman with a knife who was threatening to kill her. I first thought she was seeing all this because of her drug abuse and decided to stay with her and help her out. I requested a break from my studies at my university and stayed with her in her house after that. One night when I was fast asleep, I heard someone knock rapidly on the door of my room. When I opened it, I saw the pale crying face of my friend. She pointed at her room and said that the old woman was in her room. When I went into her room along with her, I saw an old woman whose attire was from the 60s run at us with her knife. She magically disappeared when we closed our eyes. We were both scared to death and slept together in my room. When I spoke to her mom about what I had seen the next day, she laughed and asked me to joke early in the morning. None of our family believed in us, and we were left helpless. We started seeing that ghost roam around the house in broad daylight even in front of her family members, but no one else was able to see it. We started seeing "Leave her and save your life" scratched on my room door, and when we showed it to her parents, they got furious at us as they thought we were pulling a prank on them. It was a new moon night, and we were in my room chatting about all the memories we had gathered. The clock struck 12 and we decided to sleep as it was already late. I woke up to nature's call, and when I opened my eyes, I saw a silhouette that was so tall that it hit the ceiling of the room, standing near my friend's side of the bed. It was staring at her with a knife in its hand. I tried shouting, but my voice did not come out of my throat. I turned on the lights and the figure disappeared. I woke up my friend and asked her not to sleep until I came back from the toilet. I came back and told her what I saw. She was not too worried as she was used to it by then. We decided to let the lights turn on the whole night and lay down to sleep again. In a while, the lights started flickering and burst, which woke me up, but my friend was still sound asleep. The room was covered in darkness, and I saw that entity stand in the right corner of the room. It swiftly moved near me and whispered, "I warned you," in a creepy tone, and before I could react, moved to my friend's side. That entity sat on my friend's chest and disappeared. My friend woke up screaming and told me that her chest had a burning sensation. She asked me for some water to drink, and I ran to the kitchen to bring her some. When I went back into the room to give her the water she had asked for, she fell unconscious. I woke her parents up and we rushed her to the closest hospital. Her life parted away before we reached the hospital, and the doctor told us that she had a major heart attack and failed to survive it. That was all for today. Glad you guys listened till the end. Don't forget to like the video and share with your friends. Also send in your own scary stories at horroxperiencemedia@gmail.com, so your work can get featured in my videos. You can find the link in the description. Subscribe for more similar stories, and see you guys in the next video.